Hey everyone, it's DC here, and today I'm talking with STÖK, who is a bug bounty hunter as of very recently, and I just wanted to ask him a couple of questions on sort of how he got started and what he sort of thinks of bug bounty. So STÖK, how you going?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good to be here, and I'm very, very happy to finally get this time for us to chat a bit.
Yeah, it's been not too long coming. We sort of connected, I guess, last year, and had a quick chat about doing this video, and here it is. So it's kind of exciting to get the ball rolling on this one and finally get it, I guess, out of the way.
Yep.
That's a nice way to say it, I guess. But yeah, also, do you prefer going by STÖK or your actual name, or
no? That's right.
STÖK, okay?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's jump straight into the questions. So the first one that I had, and these questions were asked of viewers of my channel. I had a questionnaire a little while ago where I asked different people to ask me what they would like me to ask you.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
Anyway.
Even better.
First question. Yeah. First question is, what's a typical day like for a bug bounty hunter?
Oh, cool. Well, I can only speak for myself and the typical day that my life goes through, and it all differs. In the beginning, I'm a full-time content creator and bug hunter right now, but prior to that, I used to work as a full-time systems architect at a consulting company, and I also was the lead for a red team. And during those periods, I didn't really have any time to do bounties, right? So I need to prioritize my day. So what I began with is that I took every Thursday off. So I took a pay cut, and every Thursday I instead turned into learning as much as possible and doing as much as bug hunting as possible on Thursdays. And the regime kind of looks the same today. I wake up in the morning, I have a big glass of water or orange juice, the first thing I do in the morning, so I hydrate a bit. Then I do some asanas, some yoga, and some I would say like setting my state for the day, with a little bit of not a really like full meditation, but kind of towards that. And then I have a shower. I'm putting on some pitch-ass black coffee, and I put on some music that I really like, and I get into that mood of hunting that I'm curious about looking at stuff. And then I usually just spend time either looking through prior projects that I've been running. Maybe I've been doing some recon, and that's been collecting over the week or during a couple of nights, and I'll dig into that. Or I'll just, I'll study a tool, or I just actually go hunting, like walking a website. That is most of the time what I do. I'm not heavy on recon, so what I do is that I spin up burp, and then I just walk the website, look at the endpoints, look at the parameters, look at the communications, and map things out. And
do you mean just any website, or like ones that are listed on Bugcrowd and HackerOne? Just sort of.
I don't hack on
you are maybe. I don't know. I'm curious.
No. You're right. In the beginning, as a learning part. In the beginning, I used to have burp running and turn anything that was active on the active scanner on, and only leaving passive stuff there. And just going through websites and looking how developers actually design their websites and how communication works, what kind of external services they were using, or login forms and that kind of stuff. To just understand, it's like in the beginning, you're looking at the matrix, right? All this information is coming through, and you don't know what to do anything with it. But after a while, you're getting that kind of like brain muscle to it. So I'm recognizing certain patterns here. And after all these matrix pieces just fall down, and you're starting to check the anomalies. And what I've turned out to be really good at is to find anomalies. The things that aren't supposed to be there. Maybe it's too much information, maybe it's too little. So that's normally what I do. I look for anomalies. And then again, of course, if I see a file upload form, I'll upload stuff there. If there's a submit form, I'll play around with that. but primarily not being a recon kind of guy, I spend most of my time on the main apps, and I do that for a couple of hours. But about every hour, I take a break and I stretch and I have some water maybe, and I make sure to have a good lunch break, so I'm being motivated when I get back in again. And when it's about 6 o'clock, my wife gets home, or like now, I'm picking her up, and we're going home, and then it's no computer for the rest of the day. So I'm segmenting my life into like focused periods.
That's good. So it's sort of like a time to disconnect from, I guess, the digital world and just sort of get on with life.
Yeah, right? Or you will burn out. That's how it works. Right. That's how it works.
I think that's actually a really important thing for newcomers coming into anything sort of IT related, not just bug bounties or cybersecurity, is that you do need to take breaks from, everything that you're learning or working on, because otherwise you will start burning the candle at both ends very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's a quick downward spiral, unfortunately, but
And the easiest way to check in for yourself, if you want to check yourself if you're burning out, is that the day when you're not feeling like doing it anymore. Then you need to do something else. You need to take a break. And what I usually do is that I do something totally different. You know, I'm not going to hunt for a week, and I challenge myself. But then the itch comes. It's like, oh man, maybe I should just open Twitter a little bit, and you get into InfoSec Twitter, and you will be inspired, and boom, you're back in the game again. That's usually how it works for me.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty much the same as you. I do tend to get I don't know if it's like burnt out or bored. I haven't quite decided which one it is, but if I sort of start just going ham at something for days and days, I either, maybe it's a type of burnout, I guess, but if I always refer to it as like a boredom of that topic, and then I'll have to do something completely different. So if it's like something very technical, I'm then going to divert to something very creative and try and split myself up a little bit that way, because I'll eventually get bored of being creative, and then or trying to be creative anyway, and then going back to doing something maybe more technical. So that's actually a really interesting insight into, I guess, I don't know how to say, like a full day of your life essentially.
Yeah,
and
it's all about creating your own routines and making sure that you're healthy in the long term, because bounties, like anything else in life, isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. You need to be understanding that you can go weeks and months without finding anything that's really, really impactful. And especially the kind of bugs that I look for, they tend to turn out to take a long time.
Right, yeah. It's it seems to be a little bit like that. And I think I'm in a fairly similar situation to where you were when you first started, where you were working in the industry, I guess, already, whereas my industry is more on the defensive side. So I've done mostly defensive security, but I'm now looking at stepping back from that work and doing some bug bounties, just because I want to try something different, really.
Yeah, it is way fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it looks like so much fun. So I've had a quick look around, and I'm sort of getting myself started as well. And I came across your channel, and it was a massive inspiration. So I wanted to sort of pursue that, I guess, and see where it could take me, and maybe if I was interested in that further down the line. I don't know yet. I haven't got to that point yet, but I'm hoping that I can sort of recommend people to follow in your footsteps and sort of take that step towards doing something different. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So next question is CTF specific, and it's, are CTFs good for learning bug bounties?
I would say so. It kind of differs what kind of CTFs you do, but me not having a CTF background, it doesn't help me at all. I actually suck at CTFs for the main reason that I know there's something faulty in there. That's the whole thing. I know that somebody's sitting there as an evil genius like this. I'm gonna make this as tricky as possible, like steganographic kind of stuff. I'm like,
that's like me. I love doing that stuff. I love creating them, but I'm not that great at doing them. But I do enjoy creating CTFs. So.
Yeah, and as long as it's not like a real world scenario, it doesn't give me anything. So, but it's a creative mindset. And Corvinex and OXXB, both disturbance members, are heavily invested into the CTF scene, and they are very, very good at the things that they do. So I'll say, if CTF's your thing, go get it, have fun. I'm particularly not a CTF kind of guy, but it's a great way of learning just techniques or tools.
Sure, yeah. And I think the one thing I like about CTFs is that they sort of have their own, I guess, specifications. So there's some that are more focused on cryptography and some that are more OSINT based. And then there's some web app ones as well.
Yeah.
And I guess if you sort of learn a little bit of everything, it's going to help out down the line, maybe a free way to help you decide which area of cybersecurity you maybe want to get into. So
yeah.
That's sort of my point of view on CTFs, I guess. But yeah, it's not for everyone, though.
No, it's not for everyone.
It can get a little bit tedious sometimes.
Yeah, and even if you, and a lot of people say that, okay, so I've got the OSCP, I've been doing a lot of CTFs, but I can't find any bounties. You know, it's really hard for me because bug bounties, it's not pen testing. It is pen testing primarily. We're doing the same methodology, but you have to think about it. It's like every bounties come so late in the game, right? There's already been like internal vulnerability assessments and all these kind of stuff, and pen tests, and maybe even red teaming. And on top of that,
that's
I
exactly
think
it. CTFs already have a predefined destination.
Yeah, and
just to capture the flag, right? But
yeah, and bounties don't.
Doesn't.
It doesn't, and it means that you need to be extremely creative, or finding like ways to look at it in another way that a typically kind of methodology based pen test would allow you. It's different. You need to bypass weird WAFs or understanding misconfigurations to be able to find your route where you're looking for. And maybe even the most impactful thing, in my humble opinion, are information disclosure. It's not even a bug, but it's maybe the company defined their API in the wrong way, so it's leaking information when you're sending a request to that test endpoint that they forgot that they put out. That could be super critical. It could be super critical for the company.
That's it. That's very true. And I think, well, from what I've seen anyway, not that I'm not a professional bug bounty person, but from what I've seen, a lot of the time there's a transition, especially in the smaller companies, where they've gone from a development site to a production site. And there's still some ties to development from before where they haven't quite cleaned up those edges and fixed it a little bit. So it's I don't know, it's a whole new world for me. So it's very exciting to sort of hear about which direction to take on that, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. The next question was, which are the easiest bug bounties to start with after you've signed up for HackerOne or BugCrowd?
The easiest bug bounties, like, do you mean particularly what kind of bugs, or are you talking about particular programs, or?
I think this question was more targeted towards which are the easiest bugs to find.
The easiest bugs to find are the ones that you look for. Actually, that's
right.
that's kind of the answer, right?
That's a good answer.
So if you're specialized in, let's say, some kind of Java engine, and the current target that you're looking at doesn't run that, you're not going to find those kind of bugs, right? Or if you're specialized in a Windows environment, and those guys are running Nginx, you're not going to find it. So it's all about understanding the target. And the short answer, because there's millions of answers here, would be, what do the customer want? What do the customer need? There's different kind of things, like we talked about the information disclosure, right? One company can say, okay, so you're disclosing an email address and partially some kind of security number. Like, they say, okay, yeah, it's by design. It's meant to be that way. It's normal for us. But if you would put that in one of the bigger rideshare companies, and you will get that kind of information, it would be critical.
It would.
So you need to understand, what do the customer want? It's not about you, it's about what the customer needs. And then you need to change your game accordingly. If you're, let's say, if you find an XXS on Dropbox, you will be a very wealthy man. Because they care a lot about that, right?
Right.
So it's all about finding the area, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I think it was more like it was a question that was asked in there, and I thought I'd put it up there because it was one of the most upvoted. And I think the misconception here is that you go in and spray and pray on like every bug you know, or every bug out there, and then you pick and choose which ones to report on. And I don't think that's quite the case.
No, because that's vulnerability assessment. If you're sending into the customer and say, okay, so you're missing HTTPS flag here, your SPF records aren't configured in the correct way, blah blah blah. It's like you're not following security standard. You're most likely going to get an A, informative, or a very low. Because those are the things that in the scanner.
Not a result you want.
It's not what you want. You want to be able to turn your lows to criticals by understanding what the customer needs. So for me particularly, it's not about a specific bug class. It's understanding what the client wants to protect.
Right. Okay. And what they should protect as well.
Exactly.
Maybe they don't understand as well what they want to protect, which is why they've put it up there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. The next question is, what is your favorite bug hunting tool? And I think I already know the answer to this because you made a whole video about it.
Yeah, it has to be Burp. I love Burp. I should be freaking endorsed by Portswigger.
You should be an affiliate of Burp Suite.
I should. No, it changed my life. Period. You know, the first day I spun that up, it was the beginning of my whole bug hunting experience. It took me to a space where I had. It's like I said, the Matrix, right? First of all, you see life, you see the browser, and you don't see anything else. But suddenly you can see the traffic between the client side and the server side, and you can interact with it, and you can play around with it. That changed everything for me. And because I have a very strong infrastructure background, so I understand how all these systems are being set up. So it was very interesting for me to just start using that tool. So I would say easily my favorite bug hunting tool is a browser and Burp.
Yep. Right. So apart from Burp Suite, I guess, would you say, and I don't mean this to come out the wrong way, but also Google in a way?
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's quite a bit of research.
Right? 100%. I would say the best tool you can have is the skill to look for information. And just being very curious. That's the best skill. And what's the best tool is to be able to have these fingers and type things in. What is XXS? How to blah, blah, blah. That's the thing. You need to do the research by yourself or dorking stuff or like, I would say, okay, so, but then you have Nmap, you got AMAS, you got all these other tools. Focus on, you know, if you're a beginner, there's like a plethora of information out there. Like I said, pick one bug class, excel at it. Then when you found a couple of bugs that paid you really well, move on to the next one.
Nice. Okay. This question wasn't on the list, but I'm curious to ask anyway. What operating system do you use to do bug bounties? I'm
primarily running most of my stuff on OS X. And I totally regret upgrading to Catalina, but yeah, it's primarily the operation system I'm using, and it has nothing to do with bug hunting. You can run any kind of OS you want; it doesn't matter. I just use it because I do a lot of editing, and I prefer to do that in Final Cut. So that's the main reason. Any kind of operation system that supports some kind of browser that you like. And a proxy. It can be Burp, it can be SAP, it can be whatever. anything that you...
Basically, whatever you feel most comfortable in is what you should be using as far as an
Yeah,
operating system is
for sure.
concerned. Yeah.
For sure. There's like...
Cool. That's the answer I was looking for. Yeah.
There's no like, oh, you need to use this special kind of Parrot Kali mixture
Parrot
build.
or Kali or whatever. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's probably one of the most asked questions ever is, you know, there's a video of a day in the life of a cybersecurity professional where I'm at work and I'm doing my work on a Windows 10 machine. So
Yeah.
it's a Dell laptop. And it's the most common question on that video is, why are you using Windows 10? You must be a noob or whatever. And yeah, it's... I don't know. I don't know why I keep getting asked that. I don't know if these people have maybe worked in these sort of environments, but you don't get a choice a lot of the time. So it's interesting for...
But I'm using like
I guess to hear someone else's perspective that you should be using Kali or Parrot. And,
it's a choice. It's a weapons of choice and a weapon of need, right? If I'm doing C2 channels and trying to evade, let's say, let's talk about internal pen testing for a second, not AppSec. So if I'm trying to, let's say, that I'm writing a payload or modifying a payload that's going to talk to my Cobalt Strike servers or whatever, and or Empire, and I want to make sure that that runs on a Windows 10 machine. Would it make sense that I would try to run that on Kali? Of course not. I need to run it on that operating system that I want to attack. So I got VMs running Windows 7, different kind of builds, Windows 10, different kind of builds. I got Parrot, I got Kali, and I got Ubuntu, and I use those kind of services whenever I need. It's all about finding what are you attacking, how are you playing around with it, what are you trying to replicate, and then pick your weapon of choice from that. I actually freaking hate Kali for the main reason that it's so broken. It's meant to be like...
Have you used the latest version? It's a bit clunky now.
Yeah.
It was a bit broken before. Now it's... Yeah, I'm a diehard Kali fan, and I don't like the latest one. I made a video about it, and I
you see? That's how it is. And so
unfortunately, yeah. It hurts. It hurts a little bit to say it, actually, but I'm not a huge fan of the latest Kali.
That's how it is, and it's an unstable build. It works for the things that it's supposed to do, but most of the time you can get your Ubuntu box running super stable with the tools that you actually need for the things that you need to do. But you need to figure out exactly what kind of tools you need first.
You can make it as secure as you want, just like anything else, really.
Yep.
It's much of a muchness, but anyway, let's not digress too much on that one. The final question is, did you have any expectations of bug bounties before getting into doing bug bounties?
Kinda, because I'm more or less kind of just fell into it, right? That's the thing. I didn't have any real expectations. I just got caught up in the whole bug fever thing. That once I just started hunting and I realized that like
bug fever, I like that. That's good.
It's the best and the worst thing ever. It's when you find a bug and you're like so excited about it, and you're like, and you can't sleep.
It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, and you're writing the report and you send it in, and then you're waiting for triage, and you're waiting for triage, and you're waiting for triage, and then it gets triage, and you're waiting for some kind that is not going to be a dupe, and preferably a good payout, and you get that 10K payout. It's a winner.
Ooh, tasty.
It's tasty.
Finger licking good. That's what you want.
Yep. So my wife just said that one day. You got bug fever again, man. I'm like, bug fever? and that's true. Awesome. I get bug fever. Can't sleep. I get super excited. I'm like,
oh no.
Fucking love it.
That's awesome.
And I know you're gonna feel it when you get it. You know, you're gonna be like,
I'm sure I will.
I know what STÖK said. That's it. That's it.
That's it. I know I'm one of those people as well. I'll just, if I get to that point, I'll just be like, oh my god, I cannot sleep, and I'm sure my fiance will just be like, go to sleep, just shut up. And I can see it happening already. But anyway, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I guess.
And it's addictive. It's that rush. It's amazing. Yeah, it's fun.
All right, well, that's all the questions I had for you. It's been a pleasure having you on this chat. For everyone who wants to follow STÖK, I'll have all of his socials in the description. But basically, just type his name into YouTube and it'll come up. It's definitely up there on
Find that.
5.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yep. And yeah, of course, if you liked this video, don't forget to leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And of course, subscribe for more. That's it. Catch you later.
Have a good one, mate. Bye.